Hello, my name is Cindy and welcome to my channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about books. I'm going to do a little book report, and this is a shout out to someone that I know personally in New Hampshire. And this person I met up with, and he and his wife have some great ideas on education. The most thing that they're famous for is the Croydon Budget Battle. And I know some people in New Hampshire that were doing some video of this event. So I did see some of the real time videos as this event was going on. So basically, what happened was Croydon, New Hampshire is a very small town. And they have a school that's kindergarten to eighth grade, I believe. It's like a village school, and they have kind of like a one-room schoolhouse type thing. And then the high school students have to be tuitioned out to other communities. And what happened was one year they put together a budget and they actually put it in the town voting program. Like in New Hampshire, we have voting on our town business in March every year. And so they put it in the budget for the school to cut the budget from 1.7 million to 800,000. And so the regular people came out. I guess they did try to, let people know somewhat what was going on, but a small amount of people showed up to vote, and the majority of the people that voted that day did vote to cut the budget. But when the parents found out, they were really upset. And I remember watching the videos and I saw, everything happen in real time. And I was kind of surprised at the parents' reaction. They didn't go to vote, most of them. So, but they ended up having to have a special meeting, and they re-voted and they went back with the higher budget. And the whole story fascinated me because I looked into the people that were running this kind of idea. Well, it would be Ian Underwood. He was a selectman of the town, and then his wife was on the school board, Jody Underwood. And if you look at their credentials, they're quite, quite high credentials, and they had some really great ideas. And their main problem with the current education system is that we give a lot of money and we don't get very good results. How can we change that? Maybe we could just, give less money for the same results, or maybe we could, tax people less and get better results. That was what their hope was. But what happened was that people were so upset with the change that they couldn't even listen to how this would all work out. And they didn't want their kids to be the guinea pig for the new program. So this book is really awesome. I just read it and it explains everything that happened. It also explains their mindset and the ideas that they had. And they had some really good thoughts on how to make the education better for a lower price. And, wouldn't that be something you want? Like you want, say, a refrigerator. You want a better refrigerator for a lower price. I mean, what do you not want to pay less for, but have better quality? And there are examples of all over the country of paying less and getting better results. For example, lots of homeschoolers pay less money than the public schools and they get better results. There are lots of private schools. I work at a private school, and parents that send their kids to our school have to pay over and above their taxes in order to send their kids to our school. But comparatively, they're paying less to educate their child, but they get better results. They get better student to teacher ratio, and they get better quality, of education. Some other books that Ian Underwood wrote are Rethinking Fairness in Education. This was really good. And we talk about being fair, and he has some really good thoughts. Now, the thing about Mr. Underwood is that his style of writing is pretty succinct. Look at this. His pages are quick, easy to read, but I'm telling you, very profound. Now, I can't tell you that I agree 100% with everything that is in this book, but I do agree with a lot of concepts, and I do agree that it's worth the conversation. Not arguing, but having a conversation about how we can improve. One of the things in this book that sticks out to me is that he talks about how we kind of expect less from kids these days. And as a teacher, I feel like we put kids in a classroom and we expect the teacher to learn them. This is what I struggle with in my classroom. I'm not supposed to learn the children. The children should come in expecting to learn and wanting to learn. And some people would laugh at me and say, oh, that's never going to happen. But how can we make that happen? Like, it's not going to take all kinds of money to make that happen. It's going to take a system, a mindset, some sort of a change in what we're doing right now. And in this book, Ian talks about some of those ideas. And these are books that a New Hampshire citizen wrote, but you can get these on Amazon. You can also get them in our own local library in Raymond, New Hampshire, the Dudley Tucker Library. So if you're in New Hampshire, you could get them interlibrary loan, or you could even ask your library to buy them. That's what I did. My library has them because I requested them. This is called Barefoot Learning, another really thought-provoking book. Now, I'm a teacher. I'm a mom. I homeschooled for several years. I know the ins and outs, the goods, the bads of education. And I know that some of my kids took to education like learning. They could learn without anyone making them learn. They loved to learn. Some kids have struggles with reading. Some kids have other issues they need to overcome. But what we're doing right now in the current system needs to be reworked. They use the statistic 40% that in our country, kind of an average in our country, kids are graduating with a 40% proficiency in math and English. That is not good compared to the amount of money that we are spending on education. So these are some books that I would recommend for educators, and just read them and start thinking kind of outside the proverbial box, right? We all know that there's a system going, and we have to kind of, I don't know, I'm on the school board in my town, and I see that we have things in motion. You can't just like completely neglect the children and rework everything. But on the other hand, we can't just keep throwing millions and millions and millions of dollars at a broken program. We have to figure out how to reach the children and make education work. Because if education isn't working, that's our future. If we are not teaching kids, and the majority of the kids, not just a few. I mean, in our current system, yeah, a few excel, a few do well. But there are a lot of students that are not excelling. And I've seen kids, they excel in the current system. They go out into the world and they have a hard time being successful because they aren't prepared for how the world is today. So just some thoughts. That's how I read these books. I read them as, let's get some ideas. Let's think about education. What can we do better? What are some ways that we can do better? What are some different ways we can think other than let's spend more money and get the same result or worse? So those are some ideas, and these are some very good books that you can check out in our local library, and you can also buy them on Amazon.com. So check them out. Ian Underwood, he has more books than these, and he has His books are called Bare Minimum Books, and that's what they are. They're ideas and ways that we can think about education outside of the proverbial public education circle. And let me know what you think. If you get one of those books, come back to this video, post below, let me know. Send a shout out to Ian, and let's get some ideas going on. We have to educate our kids. It's important. I homeschooled my kids. I sacrificed a lot to make sure my kids were at least in a place where they could learn. And looking back, I know where I made mistakes. I know where I could have done better. And every parent has to do the best they can while they can. And if your kids are already grown, maybe you can use these ideas to pass on to the next generation. And maybe you can show support to them, because we are in this together and children are our future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.